And everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat, Baruch Hashem here at Shira David. Today it's the yard site of Avraham ben Hillel, of Simcha's father, is Neshama Shaban Aliyah, and he should be a B'tzor Chaim, all Nishmas Yisrael, and he should be a good debate for Klal Yisrael, Mitzvah Hashem, and for yourself, and to see big Yeshuas. Okay. And we learn for the well-being again of the Chayalim, the Chatufim, and the Pitzuim, the soldiers, the captives and the injured. Of course, please let us never forget the injured and what they're going through, and Hashem should show them a lot of mercy and bring them all back to health. Okay, so we're learning Likutey Halachos, Baruch Hashem, and we're in Hilchos Beis HaKnesses, so we're learning the laws of the synagogue. And we're in Halacha Hey. Today we're up to Chav Hey. Okay, so we're up to 525. So after now we discussed the beauty of and the importance of Rosh Hashanah, and we discussed the Malchias, Achronis, and Shofars, and then we discussed Yom Kippur, and we discussed the Shofar, and all these different things. So now we're going to go. Now, what's the next thing? We're going to talk about Sukkah. We're moving along. We'll get to Purim soon. Okay, we're moving along the year. Okay. Chav Hey. V'zeh b'chinas Sukkos she'oz nimshachim kol hachasadim. When it comes to Sukkot, we're drawing down, we're bringing in all the chasadim. Kayadua b'kavonos, as it's brought down in the Eitz Chaim. In the shar of Sukkot, the Hainu Bechinas Chesed Chinam Sheischilu Lamshichu Rosh Hashanah Oz Nivra Ha'olam. Again, Rosh Hashanah is the time that the world was created, right? Hayom Haras Olam, Hayom Yamid B'Mishpah, right? That was Rosh Hashanah, and we said that Rosh Hashanah is connected to the Chesed Chinam, right? That Hashem created the world, and He put everything in the world. He did everything for our good, correct? Everything for us. Hashem did everything for us. He prepared everything for us. And again, we were not at that time learning. We didn't have the Torah, so it was all through Chesed Chinam, right? It was all through Chesed Chinam at that time. So when we come to Rosh Hashanah, we realize that again, it's you, Hashem, in the world. I thought it was everything else, and I complained, and I realized it's you, Hashem. Through the Malchias, through the Zechronius, right? And remembering, like we said, and then the Shofar, right? We had the Yom Kippur and Kabbalah Satayra, all these different things. We're tapping into that Chesed Chinam, Sheischilu, Lamshichu, Rosh Hashanah, Nivra, V'ata, B'Sukkos, Nimshachim, Nisgalin, Kol HaChasadim, Ayidei Zeh. Through Sukkos, we reveal the Chasadim through the Sukkah. Why? You remember the Sukkah. What was the Sukkah? We were in the desert, right, for 40 years, right? And we sat in our sukkah. We had sukkahs, right? There's a machlekes, is it sukkahs mamish, or is it the Hanani HaKavod? And therefore, when you sit in the sukkah, you have to have two things in mind. Sukkahs mamish, that we sat in a booth, and we had the cover of the Hanani HaKavod, the clouds of glory that covered us. That was all Chesed Chinam, right? Right? The fact that we were able to be in the desert and live comfortably in the desert, that was Chesed Chinam from Hashem, correct? You can't live, no one can live in the, no one else can, you can't live in the desert, but we were living comfortably. We were living comfortably. Ad Kedei Kach, they didn't want to go in there, so this is great. we get our food provided for us, there's no electric bill, there's no water bill, our clothes are not wearing out, our shoes are not wearing, this is great. What do we need anymore? That's how good it was. No, if you think about it, it was unbelievable.
And they didn't want to leave the desert.
They didn't want to leave because then we have to go fight. We have to go fight, and then we have to work the land. And this was good. Right?
This is the first time, like, when we didn't want to leave Germany, we don't want to leave the United States, we don't want to leave Russia.
There were only 20% of the Jews left Egypt, right? Or the other ones didn't want to leave Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a theme.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes, though. Ki b'Rosh Hashanah adayin Hayu achasodim behelim gadol. When it came to Rosh Hashanah, the chesed of Hashem is behelim. It's concealed. You don't see it. Machmas shadayin lo niskala malchusay, because his malchus wasn't revealed yet. That the fact that he created the world and it's all, everything is run by Hashem. V'chol avodas hatzadikim Yisrael oz. Who legalis malchus. The whole idea of Rosh Hashanah is that we reveal Hashem's malchus to the world. That's the whole point. We coronate HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the Melech Malchei Amlochim. The idea l'chol b'ya'olam, to let the entire world know. Ki hu yizbarach baras ha'olam b'chazdai. Hashem created the world. It didn't happen by itself. It wasn't through some kind of science. It wasn't through a bang. It wasn't through all the nonsense. It was Hashem that made the world. We have to let the people know that. They don't know. People don't know. They don't know that Hashem created the world. They come up with all kind of crazy theories, right? But we have to let that's our job. Ki yizbarach boras olam bechazdai v'oiskim bezeh meRosh Hashanah v'yad Yom Kippur. We're working on this project. That's our project from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. And it's what we say HaMelech HaKadosh, right? And we keep talking about the Malchus of Hashem, right? To let everyone know that this is Hashem is the Melech. That's our project, okay? That's the whole project of the Aseret Simei Tshuva, which starts again with Rosh Hashanah. B'chol ma shemegalan Yosef b'china zois, the more you reveal this, kamay kein niskala b'Yosef kedushas Eretz Yisrael. And the more you reveal Hashem in the world, the more you reveal the kedusha, the holiness of Eretz Yisrael, right? We said that the Eretz Yisrael is connected to kedusha, correct? Eretz Yisrael is the source of kedusha. And then we were talking about the other day, why don't people feel the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael? Because of their machshavas, right? Their mind, their thoughts. Their thoughts are impure. If the thought is impure, so then you cannot sense the kedusha, right? But the more you work on recognizing Hashem is the Melech, right, and then you get that into your mind, and you think about that purifies the mind. And that's why that's connected to the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, because they're really one and the same. Yikir is Galus Kedusha Eretz Yisrael, who Kefi Masha Megalin Yosef L'chol B'Yolam Shashem is Baruch Boras Olam. The more we get out there that Hashem is the one that created the world, and Hashem He's in charge of the world, is the more we reveal the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. Unbelievable. And we also can reveal the Chasadim of Hashem, the kind acts of Hashem. The more we can reveal to the world and proclaim to the world that Hashem is the one that He created the world and He is the King. Hashem is the King. It's not the presidents, it's not the prime ministers, it's Hashem is the King. He's over everything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is over everything. U'mayshil v'shalit ba'olam. And He's controlling and He's conducting everything in the world. Nothing happens without Hashem's will. Okay. And when it comes to Yom Kippur, we complete this, right? In other words, what we do, we're in shul all day, and we're working on the whole thing of being of getting forgiveness for Hashem for all of the times that we didn't recognize that Hashem was the Melech, right? We do all the al chaitz and we do all the Hashamdos, and we're doing all of these things because we try. Okay, al kait oz nigmaru is galus kol eser kedushas shemeretz Yisrael. Now was the time that we revealed the 10 levels of Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. What happened? The Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur went into the Holy of Holies at Musaf, right? At Musaf, the Kohen Gadol went into the Holy of Holies. We said that what is that? That was the 10th day, right? And that's the 10th level of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. There are 10 levels of holiness, as the Mishnah in Kalim talks about. There are 10 levels of holiness in the Eretz Yisrael. Right? Everyone with me? You got it? Yeah? 10 different levels of holiness in Eretz Yisrael. And the Kohen Gadol went in on the 10th day of the Aseret Simei Tshuva, which is Yom Kippur. and he went into the Holy of Holies, which is the Kodesh Kodesh, which is the 10th level of Kedusha, right? And then he went in there only specifically at that time. And why did he go in there at that time? Because in that place is where the Even Shesiah is, where this founding rock of the world is in that place. And the Aron sat on top of the Even Shesiah. And that was where Hashem used that rock, that the whole world evolved from that rock, to show that Hashem was the one that founded the rock and founded the world. Right? So you do that all on Yom Kippur, and that's the culminate, to realize that everything that we have here is only because Hashem wills it to be. Okay, Nichnas, what?
What does that actually, how does that make you feel when you're at the 10th level of Kedusha? I can't even imagine what that was like.
There are 10 levels of holiness in the land. Okay? The holiest place, you have Eretz, you have Yerushalayim, then you have the Kodesh, right? And then you have the Kodesh Kedashim. That's the 10th one. Different places where you can go and you can't go, right? And what level of holiness you have to be when you go to these places.
There, which is why not a lot of us can go to, or any of us can go to that, with on Yom Kippur, with the...
No one can. We cannot go there today because we're all Tamei Tumas Meis. We don't have the Parah Aduma.
Right.
So yes, you can go to the mikveh. You can go to the mikveh, and you can have tahara from Tumas Keri. That you can have, right? Or right that's no problem. But we're all Tamei Tumas Meis. Right? We all are. Until we have the Parah Aduma, we're all Tamei Tumas Meis. Even the Kohanim. Because you don't know where the Kohen doesn't know where he's. You walk down the street, you walk over a grave. There was a grave. You have no idea. Right? We're all okay. But that is the 10th level of holiness. And that's why he can go in at that time, specifically, only that time. Only that time the Kohen Gadol was able to go lifnai v'lifnim. This is the highest level of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. Kamei Shamar b'Mishnah in Kalim, right, in Perik Aleph, Mishnah Mem Vav, if you want to look it up, okay? Now, Esek Kedusha, Lifnai v'Nifnim, Mikudash Mimenu, Mukdash Mimenu, Val Kein Oz Niskala v'Nimtzach HaChesed Chinam Bezgalas Gadol. Again, the fact that he can go into the Kodesh Kodashim because he purified himself, right? The Kohen had to go through he changed his garments and he went to the mikveh, and he changed his garments and he went to the mikveh, but he only had the 4 garments, right? We're learning about the garments this week in the parsha, right? Mm-hmm. Right? We had the 8 vestments and the 4 vestments. He didn't go into the lifnai v'lifnim. He only had his white garments. He didn't go in with any of the gold and all the other. He didn't have the urim v'tum. He didn't go in with any of that. He did not take those things in with him, right? V'oz maschilim kol hachasodim lehismashech bezgalis gadol shezeh b'chinas sukkos kemuva b'kavanas. So really, sukkos, the whole idea of sukkos is to bring down the chesed, to recognize the chesed of Hashem. That you go out of your house, right? You go sit outside, right? So you don't necessarily have the comforts of your house. Right, and you're protected by the schach, so you realize I'm really being protected by Hashem. You're supposed to feel the anani hakavod when you sit in the sukkah, to feel the chesed of Hashem. That's the whole point. When you're sitting in your house, you feel the house is good, and it's a strong house, especially if you have your mamad and you're sitting there. That's very strong. You don't feel you need Hashem. But when you go outside and you have some twigs on the roof, and that's your whole roof, so you realize, wait a second, it's you're Hashem, you're the one that's protecting me. It's not all these things that I think are the one that's protecting me. It's not the Iron Dome that's protecting me. It's not the military, it's not the Air Force. It's you, Hashem. It's you, Hashem. I mean, if you think about how many rockets, how many thousands and thousands of rockets our enemies sent at us. I mean, literally, thousands. Right? Say that, right? You say thousands?
Yeah, sure.
Right? Thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. Hey, we better. Here we go. Tens of thousands. Could you imagine how frustrated they are? Can you imagine how frustrated our enemies are? We don't understand this. Again, we shot this thing, and they spend so much time and effort building these things, and we're going to get it this time. No, this time. No, this time. It's all Hashem. Hashem is protecting us. Yeah, the government wants us to believe that, it's the Iron Dome and this and that. But come on.
Well, Hashem gave us those too.
But of course,
Yeah.
no, of course. But you realize it's so beautiful to realize the chesed of Hashem, how He's protecting us every moment.
It's like when we are most vulnerable.
Yeah. The Sukkah's kamuva b'kavanas ki Sukkah hu b'chinas kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Sukkah is Eretz Yisrael. V'Yerushalayim shenikra Sukkah Sholem, because Yerushalayim is called the Sukkah Sholem. It's called the complete Sukkah, Yerushalayim. Sukkah Sholem. Isn't that amazing? Yerushalayim is called the Sukkah. Why? Because you're supposed to recognize in Yerushalayim you're protected by Hashem. The whole premise of Eretz Yisrael, that's the holiness of the land. You see that, like the pasuk says in Dvarim, it says, "Tamid Eli Hashem Elokecha Bo Mereishis Hashana Anach Mishana." Right? Hashem is always paying attention, close attention to what's going on here in Eretz Yisrael. We could recognize that the most when you go out of your house and you go into the sukkah, it's most recognized. And that's why we made the sukkah from all of the thorn thistles and all kind of different things. It doesn't matter. You use anything that grew. Anything that grew. It didn't matter. You just make whatever you can to make the sukkah. Right? Does it, right? Why can you use such simple materials? Right? Why do you use such it doesn't say that you have to use plywood or something else. Use whatever you want. Just put it together. Have your two walls and a tefach and your schach on top, and here you have your sukkah. That's your sukkah. You want to say something?
Translate here. This is made specifically from the weight of the threshing floor and the wine press.
Yeah, what? We didn't get to that. No, we didn't get to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Psoilus, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, so Kedeged Avodas HaPnimius, Torah Tefillah Kamuvim B'Makim Acher, Ki Ikra Sukkah Hu B'Chinas is Galus HaChesed. The main thing of Sukkah is to reveal the Chesed. So you can use any kind of material. It doesn't matter. You can use anything because you realize every material is made by Hashem. All that material, right? If you use the things from the wine, whatever you're using, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You realize it was from Hashem, and you see you feel Hashem there. That's revealing the holiness of Eretz Yisrael. Hu al yedei hanagas pshita shaloi, through the simplicity. Again, we keep saying this. Again, the main thing in Yiddishkeit is simplicity. It's not complicated. You learn your Torah, you do what you have to do, and we're accomplishing so many things via just doing what we're supposed to do. We're helping the whole world. When you sit down in your living room or in your den or your basement, wherever you are, and you're learning in the base medrash, you open up your sefer and you're learning Torah. You're protecting the world. You're causing other people to do tshuva. You're doing so many things. Just do what you have to do. Whatever you can do. Just do whatever you can do. Okay, that reveals kedusha itself. The zebechinas ese kedushas keneged aseres yimei tshuva, the keneged the 10 days of tshuva, 10 levels of holiness, 10 days of tshuva. V'achshav besukkos anu migalin goydel koyach Yisrael. We realize the greatness and the strength of Klal Yisrael. Shaloi dai she'anu yecholim lichvay Eretz Yisrael bechinas Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippur. It's not enough that we can just conquer Eretz Yisrael. Af Gam onu yecholim lekadesh kol hamekoymes b'chutz laaretz b'kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Not only that, we can take any place we want around the world, and we can make it have the same holiness. That place that we sanctify, of Eretz Yisrael. And that's why the shuls around the world, right, no matter where the shul is, and the yeshiva, and if it's built again according to halacha, and they're doing the right thing in the shul, right? The whole point is when you run the shul, you have the shul in it, and the shul is a place of kedusha, right? If you're doing that, so then you're revealing that's connected to Eretz Yisrael. Va'al yedei she'odnu megalin shehu yizbarach bara soilem, and through us revealing that Hashem is the one that created the world, right? Bara soilem k'muvalel. Zeu bechina sukkah she'Hashem yizbarach zika oisanu shekol echad miYisrael yeshe besukkah shehu tzela de kadisha. That every one of us can sit in the holy shade of Hashem. It's feeling the presence of Hashem in the sukkah. Hashem gives us all the mitzvah to go out, to sit in the sukkah, to feel the holiness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the sukkah, specifically made by raw materials that Hashem created in the world. You feel the love, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves you as you sit in the sukkah. That's what we're supposed to do. It's beautiful, right? You want to say something, Rav Simcha? Sila de Menusa, it's the tzel of our emunah, right? It has two things. It's the holy shade, and it's also the shade of our emunah. It helps us strengthen our emunah, right? That's the whole thing. You strengthen your emunah when you go outside and you recognize you don't have the fortification of your home. You're in the sukkah. It strengthens one's emunah. That's the whole point. We're always supposed to be strengthening our emunah. Right? That's the, okay. And that's the whole idea of Eretz Yisrael. You're supposed to feel the protection of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the land. And it's supposed to strengthen our emunah. Right? Like we said, all those rockets and all of the different things and all of the enemies with all of their guns and all of their things. But Baruch Hashem HaKadosh, look at the other day, 2 weeks ago with the buses, right? 5 buses where they wanted to go out at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. They set their clock wrong. That's Hashem showing us His love. That's Hashem showing us His love. That's mamish the love of Hashem. We can bring the holiness of Eretz Yisrael in Chutz La'aretz, outside of Israel, and we can sanctify it. That HaKadosh Baruch gives us the opportunity to do that. Again, when we're doing the right thing, we can sanctify the land. Every one of us can sanctify places from the from the outside. We can make them holy, even if they're not holy. They're not holy when we get there, but we can sanctify them when we're there. B'kedushas Eretz Yisrael, with the level of holiness of Eretz Yisrael, b'chinas sukkah sholem, which is the idea of the sukkah. And that's why you can make a sukkah anywhere in the world too, right? Anywhere you can have a sukkah when it's sukkahs, right? If you have there's no tree above you. You made it out of the materials that are not makabel tumah for the schach, right? And so on and so forth. You follow all the rules, and you have at least 2 walls and a tefach, and you put the schach on top, so you're sitting in a sukkah no matter where you are. Al yedei emunasai hashleima shezacha b'Rosh Hashanah, through our emunah shleima that we are zeicha to have on Rosh Hashanah. V'yom Kippur v'leida leidia, we know and we make known. Shehu hayoytzer hu habayre. We let the world know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that fashioned and created the world, and He created things. We can have the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael even in Chutz La'aretz. Again, the main point is to always reveal Hashem wherever we are, right? So in other words, wherever a group of Jews are around the world, no matter where they are, if they get together, they can take a property, they can get a piece of land and build a shul. And what they're doing is they're drawing, like we learned, from the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, specifically Yerushalayim, right? And that's why we said, that's why wherever you are around the world, you're always davening towards Yerushalayim, because that's where the Kedusha is connected to, from where it came from, of your place where you're praying. Wherever you're praying, wherever you are around the world praying to Hashem, if you're praying to Hashem, you're praying it towards Yerushalayim, because that's where the Kedusha comes from. That's the best proof, right? Right? I mean, to me, that's amazing that you're always davening towards Yerushalayim, wherever they are. It doesn't matter depending on where you are, it depends what direction you're going to daven. Right? It doesn't matter, because wherever you are in the world, it depends where you are in the world. But you're always going to be facing towards Yerushalayim. Why is that? Because that's where it gave you the ability to create that synagogue, to that place where you're davening, that yeshiva, that Makom Kodesh, wherever it is. It gave you the opportunity to sanctify it by again being Megala HaKodesh Baruch Hu in the world. That's the whole point. We have to reveal Hashem's name in the world. We have to be Megala Kvod Shemayim. We have to reveal the covenant of Hashem in the world. And that's the main point of the Sukkah. That's the main point of anywhere we go in the world, anywhere in the world. And we can sanctify it again with that idea. How? With the pshitas, with simplicity. Right? Always being simple. You do things in a simple way. Yiddishkeit is not complicated. I do what I can do. That's all I have to do. I have to do what Hashem expects me to do, what I have to do. All right? I don't have to look at what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter to me what he's doing, what they're doing. I know what I can do, and I have to do what I do the best. That's what I have to do. What?
Yeah, it says we can sanctify all the places outside of the land. But can you comment, since you said that, you must have passed this. Like it says,
Says what?
well, the sukkah must be weighed from the threshing floor and wine press, for the waist corresponds to the simple conduct of the authentic tzaddik.
Yes.
Corresponds to the waist compared to his inner work of Torah prayer. The essence of the sukkah, which corresponds to the manifestation of kindness. I'm trying to get my head around what that's saying.
That's again the tzaddik he has his time. He has his time that he's studying, and he's connected very well with Hashem at that time. But then he has to take his break, the simplicity. So that's the simple materials again that we make the sukkah for. With, you understand?
But the waist is compared to his inner work of Torah and prayer.
The what?
What is the waist? I guess
It can be made from waste materials. That's what it means. It's missing that. It's missing the waste. It can be made from waste materials.
Well, it says his simple conduct of conduct of the authentic tzaddik corresponds to the waist.
The simple is the time the tzaddik has his pshitas, his simplicity. Right? When the tzaddik is not studying and he's sleeping, the tzaddik is using the restroom, the tzaddik went to the mikveh. All these examples we gave you, right? So that's like the waste material. That's not the best. It's like that. And that's why you can even use that. And that's why we have to act in our way of simplicity. Okay? All right. Now, so let's go on to Chav Vav. We have time, Baruch Hashem. And now, since we talked about Sukkah, now let's talk about the Arba Mina. Right? The 4 species. Here we go. The Chol Zeh, and all of this, Nasa Aidesha Zeiche Lekasha Atzmai Im Atzadik Emes Shehu Lepamim Ish Pasha. Hey, this is the point. Here, 26. Mordechai, 26.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the point that you were just talking. It's right here. Okay, Nasa Yadesha Zoichin Lekasha Atzma Ima Tzaddik. When I can connect myself to the tzaddikim, right? And we said, how do we connect ourselves to the tzaddikim? When the tzaddikim are on their high level, it's very hard to connect to them. But when the tzaddik is acting in the way of pshitas, so then I can connect to him, right? I can relate to the tzaddik. Maybe use that word better. Right, it's much easier for me to relate to the tzaddik when he's not deep in his study, and he's out doing whatever he has to do. I can relate to the tzaddik. And that's the idea that we have to tie and bind the lulav. We bind the lulav. The lulav is the branch, is the palm branch. Right, that's straight. It has to be straight. Right, that's one of the rules of the lulav. It has to be straight. It can't be bent. right? It has to be straight because we said that tzaddik is yashar, right? You have to look at the lulav. You have to check the lulav to make sure the lulav is not bent. The lulav has to be straight. Tzaddik hatama yifrach, like we say in the Tehillim, right? Tzaddik hatama yifrach. The tzaddik will blossom like the date. That's where it comes from, right? Hashem is brought tzivanu likach rak ha'elyon shel ha'tamarim dainu kapas tamarim, right? The Torah says take the top branch of the kapas tamarim. You would think maybe I'll take the dates or the lower branches. No, take the upper branch.
So does that mean it should be stiff? Because that'll be straight, because some of them are like, they bend over and...
No, they shouldn't. The lulav has to be straight. The lulav can shake.
Right.
You could shake the lulav. You want to shake the lulav, that's fine. And the lulav can make a noise, that's no problem.
Yeah.
But again, it has to be straight. That's what we're discussing, okay?
Yeah, I've just seen some other types. I guess.
Well, a
Yeah.
kosher lulav is a straight lulav.
Straight.
And where does it come from? The top of the tree. All the way on the kapat tamarim. It comes on from the top. Shua lulav la'ayrei she'ein lanu kayach lekasher atzmeinu im atzadik emes lefi oitzim kedushosai ki im rak ayidei bechinas hanagas pshitusai. Through the pshitus. So again, it's the top one, right? Simple. There's nothing. There's no dates. There's nothing there. It's a simple branch. Shezeh bechinas elyon v'lulavin v'alehu lo yibol. Right, like the pasuk says. Right, it says about the tzaddik. He goes up, right, and okay, but basically we want to connect to the tzaddik. Shedosh Rabbi Seinu al sichas chulin shel tzaddik, from the sichas chulin, when the tzaddik speaks regular things. Sichas chulin. He's talking about maybe he's talking about weather. Maybe he's talking about a trip he's going on, or something, whatever he's talking about. Sichas chulin. Okay.
So remind me of the benefits of connecting to the tzaddik. Because I'm thinking the tzaddik is closer to God
Yes.
than we are.
Yes.
So God's connected to the tzaddikim, and if we can connect to tzaddikim, we have more
The tzaddik is connected also to the chesed chinam.
kesed chinam.
Right. When the tzaddik is acting in this way of pshit, the simplicity, he connects to the chesed chinam, the free gifts treasury. Right? Now, when we connect to the tzaddik, when we're acting in a way of pshitis also, doing whatever we have to do, our work, whatever we're doing, whatever we have to do, so we're also connected to the chesed chinam.
So we're bringing that down further.
Through the tzaddik.
Through the tzaddik.
Through the koyach of the tzaddikim. Yeah. Shedosh Rabbi Seinu Zal. Al sichas chulin shel tzaddik ainu bechinas anhagas pishitusai, through his simplicity. That's how we can more rather relate to the tzaddik. Again, when the tzaddik is doing his thing in his avodah, it's very hard for us to relate to him. But when the tzaddik is, he's doing his, he's out there with the boys, right? So then we could, it's easier to relate to the tzaddik. Okay, let's put it like that. Okay, we understand that, right? We feel more of a connection. V'zeh b'chinas lulav shehu poshet by nikshar v'negad hadas v'arovos shemerames al kol kitas b'Yisrael. So I take the dasim and the arovos, right, and I bind them to the lulav, because that's showing me all different types of Jews. He's going to explain now what that means. Okay, we're binding them all to the tzaddik. It doesn't matter if he's a very pious person or a very simple person, or even a Russia. It doesn't matter. We bind everyone to the tzaddik. That's why we bind the arovos and the adasim to the lulav. Okay, because everyone is drawing from the chesed chinam of the tzaddikim. Right, everyone. Right, I listen. People are connected here, especially in Eretz Yisrael. People are connected to certain tzaddikim, right? Would you say that? Right, they're connected to certain tzaddikim. They're not necessarily always the most religious people, but they believe in the koyach of the tzaddik.
Yeah.
Right? Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Right, even people that are not so religious, right?
Soccer players, movie stars, yeah.
They believe this is
It's true. They do. They connect. They go to.
they're connecting to the tzaddik. That's the arova. Those are the arovos. Right? Ein tam, ein reach, right? Ein tam, ein reach, right?
They go to them
But they're
where it
still
says,
bound, they still bind themselves to the tzaddik. It's strange. But they are.
But what he said was soccer players.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
No, but we're binding to the wrong things.
No, they're not. They bind to the
They're the
tzaddik.
Aravas that are binding to the lulav.
There are groups of people, right? We're gonna.
It's all groups, yeah.
What?
Go to Uma.
Oh, go to.
Well, that,
But I go to the Baba Sali.
Baba says same thing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Tattoos, the whole family.
Did you see when it was Rabbi Yitzhak Abu Chatzer in Morocco? It was amazing. I say some people sent me pictures, like people you didn't even realize they were Jewish.
yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's beautiful. They all connect. They gravitate to the tzaddikim. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It shows the love and respect for everybody.
You what?
It shows love and respect for everybody.
Yeah.
All shapes, sizes, whatever.
Ki kulam tzrichen lekabel me'atzadik. Shu b'chinas ish pashut hagodol. He's the great simple person. Again, when the tzaddik is acting in his way of simplicity, right? In the way of simplicity. B'chinas halulav shu pashut. That's why the tzaddik is like the lulav, pashut, simple, straight. V'godol mikol haminim, and it's the tallest one of all the minim, right? The lulav is always taller than the hadassim, and the lulav is always taller than the aravos. Well, it's supposed to be anyway. Some people have these tall aravos. The aravos is supposed to be, or the lulav is supposed to be taller, okay? Ki kol hakita shebi Yisrael, heim balei mitzvahs, heim balei Torah, heim harekim legamri me Torah mitzvahs, heim bechinas arvei nachal. Right? So you have all different types of Jews. Some people that study a lot of Torah, some people that are doing a lot of mitzvahs, and they're involved in beautiful, beautiful things. And then you have those that are empty. Then you have those that are empty. They're not connected. They're not affiliated. But they still have some connection. They know there's a tzad. They know something. They don't necessarily understand it, but they just feel like I have to be connected to this person. I need to be connected to this tzaddik. Right? And then they know stories. Like the Baba, like, Yossi, there's a lot of stories in the Baba Sali, right? A lot of stories. And people, simple people that the Baba Sali would affect. And then they would tell all their friends, wow, this is the tzaddik, the chacham. Right? Kulam tzrichen lekabel meish bosher agadol. B'chol ha'arba minim shehem klal kol hakitoi sheb'Yisrael. The arba minim are all the different groups and the different segments of Klal Yisrael are found in the Arba. That's why they're so special. The Arba Minim are so special. Unbelievable. Yeah, they say from when it came to the Kedushas Levi, he was never able to sleep the first night of Sukkot. He couldn't go to sleep. He was just so anticipated to grab he wanted to take the Arba Minim. He waited to the first second he could take the Arba Minim, and when we understand how beautiful these things are, right? You're binding.
It brings so much more meaning to Sukkah, to Sukkot.
Yeah.
I never knew any of this.
Okay, all right, okay. We'll learn it. Okay, v'chol Arba Minim heim klal kiddush v'zol kulam meirim umamshichin hidur v'yoifi ha'esri. But they're all connected to the beauty and the beauty of the esrog. Shul bechinas kedushas Eretz Yisrael. The esrog is the aspect of the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. So the tzaddik is the lulav, and the hadassim and the aravos are all the different types of Jews, and the esrog is Eretz Yisrael. And you're binding all the Jewish people, the tzaddik with all the Jewish people together with Eretz Yisrael, with the esrog. Okay, here, let's see, watch this. Shul bechin kedusha says galus malchusay is baruch bechinas kvoid hadar malchusay, right? Kvoid hadar malchusay, right? The honor of the beauty of Hashem's kingdom. Ki kol hahidur v'ayofi hu be'eretz Yisrael. The main beauty And you see Hashem's beauty is in Eretz Yisrael. That's why the land is such a beautiful land. Right? It's a beautiful land. Because it's showing the beauty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. K'may shekosav mitzion miklal yoifi elikim haifiyah. Beautiful. V'zeo v'achesed Hashem me'olam v'ad olam al yireya v'tzidkosai livnei vonim l'shoimrei brisai. Right, the beautiful words. The chesed Hashem me'olam, right? The chesed of Hashem is eternal, right? Me'olam, right? V'ad olam in all eternity. Al yireya, but how do you get it? Through yireya, through HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the ones that fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'tzidkosai livnei vonim, and He gives His righteousness to His children, l'shoimrei brisai, those that are guarding the bris. Rashi teves lulav. See that? How do you like that? See that? See the words there that he has there? He highlighted the you see the words? Vitzit kasei livnei vanim liyisrael brisei is lulav. Ki al yedei halulav ubechinas atzadik al yodai nimshachim v'nisgalen chasadim. Through the lulav, through the tzaddik, you can reveal HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed. Because again, when you connect to the tzaddik, right? When the tzaddik is in his pshitas, right? That's what we said. The lulav is from the kappas to marim. It's all the way on the top where there's nothing connected. It's a simple branch, right? You can have on the date tree. You can have much more complicated branch. The ones that opened up, right? And then you can have the dates, and it can be something special. No, we're not going to connect all of that. We're going to use the lulav, the top of the branch that's straight. That's what we're going to use for the tzaddik. Because again, we're showing we connected the tzaddik best when the tzaddik's when he's acting in pshitas. That's the when we can connect to the tzaddik best. Yes?
How do you translate that? Vitzikato livnei vanim l'shoimrei.
I just translated. How do you want to translate?
I didn't connect what the translation was when you were saying it, that's all.
Okay, so what do you want to know how to translate?
The acronym of lulav.
V'tzidkasei livnei vanim l'shoimrei brisai. That's lulav right there. You have the lamed, the vav, the lamed, and the vav.
But I don't know what that means.
What does what?
And His righteousness is to the sons of their sons, to those who guard
The covenant.
Okay. So I'm curious, how does this give us the ability to talk to Hashem directly with Hibadadut? Because it seems like we're not...
How do you connect Hashem with yourself, with His both of you? You have a neshama inside of you, right?
Right.
And your neshama is a piece of God.
That I understand, but it's like we have to go through the tzaddik to bring down the chesed.
Chesed, yeah.
But we don't have to do that to talk to God and answer
No.
our prayers and whatever.
No, we could talk to, no, but we do bind ourselves to the tzaddikim, right? If you say Tikkun Kloli, you bind yourself to the tzaddikim, right? And when you daven, you say L'Shem Yichud, you want to bind yourself to the tzaddikim, right? Right? We're doing that, right? We are always doing that. Right, we always want to bind ourselves to the tzaddikim, right? In the Shmon Esrei, we have a bracha. Allah tzaddikim, Allah chasidim. Misham miftach la tzaddikim. I have to believe in the tzaddikim, right? We have to believe in the tzaddikim. Okay. Well, we be amir kulam tzaddikim, right? Here we go. Right, everyone is a tzaddik on their own level.
On their own level.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Rashi Davis lulav. Okay, idea lulav ubechidas atzadik. Okay, al yodai nimshach and nisgalim chasadim through the tzaddikim. You can realize the chesed of Hashem, right? The tzaddik will help you recognize all what you have in your life is really a lot of chesed, because sometimes we get inundated with so many things that are going on. We don't realize all the goodness that we have, right? A person only focuses on his problem. You ever realize that? You have so much good, so much good. And there's one problem. And all you do is you're thinking about that problem. But what about all that? What about all the other stuff?
It's like your investments. You always think about the bad ones.
You only think about the bad one, right? You're not thinking about the good one, right?
I guess.
I don't know why it is that way.
Right. Focus on the good.
Yeah.
Focus on the good ones.
But it is good. You have to see the bad ones as good.
But that the tzaddik will help you show you that.
And it's good because you learn something from it. That was important.
Shebehem nivra oilam b'bechinas chesed Hashem me'olam v'yad oilam. The chesed of Hashem is for all eternity. A very, very, very important, a very, very important lesson to really understand this concept of what it means to be connected to the tzaddikim and why we connect to the tzaddikim. And the way we put this all together with starting off with Rosh Hashanah. And on Rosh Hashanah we have three aspects, or we have Malchus, Zechronius, and Shofars. Right? Well, these things that we learned about, right? The Malchus, right? So we coronate the king, and then we have the Zechronius that reminds us of Eretz Yisrael and the treaty that Hashem made, and we talked about Noach, right? Why Noach? Because Noach was against all the flood waters of the time. Right? And then that's why we have to be careful what we're thinking about and to protect us from the floodwaters. And if we do that, we can sense the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. The more we protect our thoughts, we can sense the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. Right? And then we said we have the shofar. Why was the shofar? Kabbalah Satorah. Right? The shofar was given, Hashem blew the shofar with Kabbalah Satorah, was given through the fire, and so on, right? And that's us. That's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah, and then we have the Torah because till the 26th generation there was no Torah, and Hashem was running the world with the Chesed Chinam, right? So when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, right, we remind ourselves again that Hashem created, He was the one that created the world, He's the King of the world, and He's running everything. It's not, I thought it was everybody else. No, it's you, Hashem, right? And we work on that all through the Aseret Yemei Tshuva. Right, we have the 10 days of tshuva. Right, Rosh Hashanah is the first two. The third day is Tzom Gedalia. Right, and then you have Yom Kippur. Right, so you only have 6 days left of actual days that you can do tshuva. Right, well, Yom Kippur is a day of tshuva. Right, but it's 10. Right, we said that. Right, and we said that there were Eser. We have the 10 utterances that Hashem created the world. Right, He used 10 utterances. Right, Vayomer Elikim, Bereishis Bara, right? That was the Maimer Sosam, right? All the things that we learned about, right? And then we had the Aseres Adibros, right? The 10, right? 10, right? And then we said that the Kohen Gadol went into the Lifnai and Lifnim. He went into the Kodesh Kodashim on the 10th day, right? In the 10th level of holiness of Eretz Yisrael, right? To reveal HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed in the world, that He's the one that made everything in this world. Why? Because in the Kodesh Kodashim was the Even Shasiyah, that rock that HaKadosh Baruch Hu used to evolve the entire world. Right? So that shows that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that made the world. It didn't happen on its own. Right? It's our job to reveal Hashem in the world. That's our job. Right? Like if we only did what we're supposed to do, right? Go out there, proclaim HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that created everything, everything, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us our land. It's Hashem gave it to us, and not to be scared to say that, right? We have to be proud that Hashem gave it to us, so we have to be proud of that, right? The same way our enemies are very proud of what they believe in, and they say it very loudly. How come we're not proud? Why can't we be proud? This is our land. Right?
It's not PC.
Right?
It's not PC.
Yeah.
It's not what?
It's not what?
It's not politically correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's time to get rid of this whole political correct nonsense. Yeah, it's mamash. Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's no politics. Is all garbage. The truth is the truth. Right? How do you do that? Again, through us purifying our thoughts, so that we could sense the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, right? The more you purify your thoughts, you can and how do you do that? Through connecting to the tzaddikim, right? And that's why we said we have the Sukkah, right? The Sukkah was a lesson. It was 25. What was the Sukkah? We said the Sukkah was the fact that you go outside and you recognize now the Chesed of Hashem. You realize the Amunah. It's the Tzela de Menusa, right? It's the shade of Hashem. You're sitting in the shade of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's made from all materials that Hashem made in the world. Simple materials. Because again, we want to connect the HaKadosh Baruch Hu with simplicity. We don't need to be complicated. Simplicity. And that's why we can connect best to the tzaddikim when the tzaddik is acting in the way of simplicity. right? And then the tzaddik connects to the chesed chinam. We can connect to the chesed chinam, and so on and so forth. That's why the tzaddik is like the lulav, and we bind the adasim and the aravas to the lulav to show that we're all bound to the tzaddik, right? We all connect to the tzaddikim because the tzaddik will get us closer to Hashem. He'll show us the chesed chinam. He'll show us that it's all Hashem in the world, right? He'll show us it's all Hashem in the world. That's what the tzaddikim do. Yeah.
So, does that mean when we build our sukkah, we shouldn't use like a steel frame because it's not really?
If you use
Breslov?
you can use a steel frame, but then you'll cover the top of the steel frame so that the schach doesn't sit on the metal.
The cover sukkah is chach. So
The sukkah is the schach. That's the main thing, is the covering. The cover is the main thing of the sukkah. So if you made your sukkah out of metal, you shouldn't put the schach directly onto the metal.
So
Because the metal is metkabel tumah, right?
So the slats that hold up.
You should put some wood on
You put some wood underneath and put the schach on top of the wood. That's
Don't
right.
let it hang over or anything like that either. Then
It can hang over a little, but it should be resting on wood. That's the main
rest
point.
it on that.
Yeah, resting on wood. Okay.
Yossi was mentioning that there are plenty of aravas in Uman. My cousin once sat in a room with, it's one of those rooms that has 50 people in it.
Yeah.
So they were like all sitting around sharing their stories, and so one of the guys introduced himself. He said, "I just, my name is whatever, and I just got out of jail for murder." And
Wow.
like he's nonchalantly like going on about this story.
And he's in your room, right?
And
Is
he's
it?
in my cousin's.
Yeah.
My cousin's
Your room.
like trying to
Yeah.
play it cool.
Okay.
They show you the like how far the aravas can go. I mean, this guy just came back. He's he just got out of jail for murder, and he's sitting there in Uman trying to connect to the tzaddik, and he
Okay.
can.
He can. Yes, absolutely.
That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. Anyone goes there. You see that? It's fascinating. It's really, really fascinating. Okay, so let's learn the halacha now. Okay, we'll pick up 27 tomorrow, Mr. Hashem.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go.
Hopefully, there are none of those at BRI, right?
No, Baruch Hashem. No, you won't find. No. Generally,
You
you won't
should want
find.
them all to be in BRI.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's do. We're in the Siman Tes Vav, and we're up to letter Dalet. Okay, Tzrichen sheyu kol asara b'makom echad v'ashliach tzibah imahem. Right, so it has to be that the 10, we have your minion, right? They have to be in one room, and the shliach tzibah should be in that room as well, right? What? There shouldn't be somewhere, this guy's over here, that guy's over here. You should all be together. Aval im miksasam b'cheder zeh, miksasam b'cheder acher. But if some of them are in one room and another room, let's say you have like this, the classroom here, and you have the base medrash, right? Eina mitztarfim af al pi shapesach pasuach beinehem. They're not connected, even though the rooms are connected. Right? The doors can be connected, one room to the next. If they're in this room, they're not in that room. All right? And that's a very important thing. You have to be in the same room. In a shul, if you daven, and some people like to daven in the Ezras Nashim, right? They like to go in the women. But that's, if it's part of the shul, there's no problem with that.
like there.
Yeah, that would be okay. That's okay, because it's in the same room. But sometimes you have the Ezras Nashim can be in the next room with an opening.
Yeah.
So, okay, the women aren't counted in the minyan anyways, but it's no problem. But you can't be in that room. Right? It's a very important thing. If there's 10 people, if there's it's a big minyan and there's many people, so you want to die, okay, but you want to be connected. You still want to be connected with the people, right? When you're davening, you want to be connected. But
Even in the hallway outside the door.
That's
not
no
good
good.
either.
No, you want to be in the room. You want to be in the room.
Story time.
Huh? You have a story?
During Corona.
Oh, Corona here, yeah. Yeah, that was a whole problem. Were they mitzdarif, right?
Let me tell the story.
Okay.
During Corona, there was a day where I was at Zion Ramadan, and they had 9 guys down there, and I was, refusing to wear my mask.
Well, so you're
So I was upstairs in the bleachers.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say who it was, but a guy refused to start the minyan because he said I wasn't part of it because I was in the Ezra Nashim upstairs.
But you really were a part of it.
No, but if you're in the Ezra Nashim, you would.
Because you weren't covered.
No, because he said I wasn't in the room. He said I was in a different area because I was in the Ezra Nashim.
All right,
upstairs.
all right.
That's something else. I don't know if that.
No, that's
So Ezra Nashim would be okay. That's part of the same room. That's in Zion Renan. If you're upstairs in Zion Renan, that's in the same room.
He would have known the halakha.
Yeah, but it's the same room. It's the same
He
room.
thinks he does. He thinks he does, and this guy has a
You could have said no.
he has a smicha, and he's a guy,
Yeah,
whatever, and he thought he knew more than I did.
Okay,
And
okay,
I was
but-
like, start the minyan, and he refused.
Okay,
Here you go.
here you go. Okay. Vafilu im roiv heima bebeis haknesses v'amiut ba'azora. Right? If most of them are in the Beis HaKnesses and the other ones are in the Azora, the courtyard, or the whatever, shalifnei Beis HaKnesses, einam nigrorim achar roiv v'nitztarif imam. It doesn't work. You know, they have to be in the same. You have to be in the same room. Vafilu oimnim ala kupa beside Pesach shela agav lachutz. If you anyway, you're out again. Basically, you're outside. Anytime you close the door from the shul and you're not in that door, you're considered outside. That's the rule, okay? If there's a door and they close the door and you're not standing in it, you're not part of that minyan. Okay, what? Even though it's open, right? But if you would close the door and you would be outside, you're not counting. Alpha bishata pesach pasuach. Even though the door is open and you're standing, it doesn't work. Because mokai nidan kalachutz, it's counted as if you're outside. Okay, v'chol zeis linyan seirif la'asara. All this is when it comes to counting 10 people together. Avalim hayu kana asara v'oimim kaddish oy baruch hu oy kedusha. If you have 10 people, and they said you could say kaddish, you could say baruch hu and kedusha. As I kol shemeya koilam yochel la'anei simoya. So if you have 10 people in the shul, that allows them to say kaddish, kedusha, baruch hu kedusha, right? Now, but if you're in the next room, you can still answer them. You're not counted with them, but if you hear it, you can still answer them. You're allowed to still, yes.
So if I'm in a house and you have the leader of the service.
And you have the shul next door to you, and the windows are, yeah.
I'm talking about we have a minion in a house.
Yeah.
Listen to him.
So that someone who's in a different room in the house
Does not count.
does not count.
Does not count. No, he has to be in that room where you daven. So if they're all davening in the living room, he has to be in the living room.
And if you're davening outside, is there
There you go. That's a good case. What happened in Corona? The guys are in the Mirpasot.
Yeah.
No, but I'm
Well, that
talking
was
about-
that. Okay, but that was a shasat chak. That was a shasat chak, and that was something special.
No, but I'm
But
talking
really, it's a problem. It's a problem. But they wanted to say that all of they're all connected. All of these guys on the person, they're all connected. They're all part of one street, so they're all part of one thing. They really stretched it a little bit, but okay. It was.
Well, when you're trying to make Kaddish and you're an Avel and they won't.
Yeah. They won't let you do what you can do, of course. Okay.
But what if you're outside?
Well, look what he says here. Afilu kama botim mafsikim beineim. Even if you have many houses that are mafsik, you have breaks in between them. Ki afilu mechitza shel barzel einay mafsekes bein Yisrael aviyin shebashamayim. But really, not even an iron wall will hold you back from davening to Hashem, right? So we said that we learned about it, right? What places are holy, right? We allowed to daven. It can't be any place that there's any excrement or urine. We learned about it. Yeah,
You have to be in the same room in order to be included in the minyan.
in the minyan.
However,
And the minyan, you have to have 10 people in the room in order for them to be able to daven.
but if I'm number 11, I just had this last night, and I'm outside. Meaning, I was waiting for someone to pick me up. Okay?
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to be a while.
So you could daven with them while you're waiting for someone.
In the hallway, and they were davening. I heard them davening.
And were you davening with them?
Yes.
Good.
So I'm saying that you,
But he's not in
you
the
can
minyan.
be part of the
You're
minyan by being outside of it.
Wh-
You
wh-
just can't be counted. Meaning,
You're not counted, right? You're not counted, right?
I was worried.
Right.
But you're not part of the minyan either, no?
Well,
Right.
rather be inside. If you cover your bases by being inside.
You know, Baruch Hu is Baruch Hu.
Yeah, you still heard Baruch Hu, and you answered, and you answered Baruch Hu, right? And you can answer Kedusha, and you can say enter Kaddish.
No, that's not.
Okay, let's all make sure we're all together when we daven. Everyone have a wonderful day. Kol Tuv.
Thank you.